As I mentioned, in Peterborough, each city has a green and a black bin. It comes to a total of 15,000 more bins than there were 8 years ago, and it costs the City Council more than £200,000 a year extra to collect those. Councillor Gavin Elsey is the Peterborough City Council Cabinet Member for Waste and Street Scene. Morning, Gavin.
Morning, Dorothy.
What's the problem then, as you see it, with the money that you have versus the task that's at hand?
Well, the biggest challenge that we as an authority have, and we're not alone in it, is that the government's figures that they use for setting the government grant that we get is 8 years out of date, and it doesn't take into consideration any of the growth that the central government wants cities like Peterborough to take. You know, we have consistently over the last 8 years been one of the top 5 fastest expanding cities in the country. And the amount of grant that we get for delivering that growth for the government isn't reflected in the amount that we get for it.
Of course, what you do get, though, is you still get the council tax. And if the city's expanding, surely you're getting more council tax.
You are, but it's not enough to cover the services that we have to deliver, because at the same time, we're going through the worst funding cuts that we've ever experienced. So if you look at 2% on a 2% increase in council tax, you're talking less than £1 million. But this year alone, we're facing cuts of £19 million. So the numbers just don't add up.
So would you be in favour, say, of doing what you can at Peterborough City Council and potentially raising council tax? You know, I understand that you can raise it by 6% this year. Is that something you'd support, Gavin?
Well, we've got to be pragmatic. You know, we have to understand that people are finding it increasingly difficult as well, because wages haven't gone up in the same way as they should have done, and people are struggling. So we continue to do what we can. You know, we can't rule out anything. I'm not going to put a percentage figure on increases in council tax, but we can't rule out anything, because the bottom line is that we are duty bound to deliver services that the government are underfunding.
So I'll just ask you again, would you be in favour of the 6% rise in council tax, which is the maximum possible, without a referendum this year?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's a disingenuous figure, because it's not 6% for council services. It's to cover a precept for adult social care as well. You know, I am in favour of an increase in council tax. I don't know what figure that is, and I need to look at the figures to ascertain exactly what it will do. But raising it for the sake of raising it, no, I'm not in favour. Raising it if we have no alternative but to raise it in order to deliver the services that we need to deliver, then it's something that we've got to look at.
I mean, in terms of the amount of money that you're spending on bin collections, are there other options that you could explore? The mantra, isn't it, is reduce, reuse, recycle. Could you encourage residents to create less waste in the first place so that there's less to collect?
Well, I mean yes is the short answer. You know, increasing recycling and getting people to dispose of their waste more effectively is a way forward. But that still doesn't counter for the fact that, irrespective of whether or not they're putting recycling into a green bin rather than not putting it into the correct bin and putting it in the black bin, there are still 15,000 more bins that we're emptying than we were 8 years ago. And the grant that we get from the government for doing that doesn't reflect it. So, you know, I'm looking at a service that I'm responsible for, where over the last 8 years, service has gone up by 30% and the funding has gone down by 10%. So, you know, there's a 40% gap between where we should be, and that's difficult.
And what you're asking people to do, as I understand it, you're asking people to join the City Council's campaign to stand up for Peterborough. But how? How do you think people can help?
Well, I mean, basically what we're asking people to do is to get behind the council leader, to register their disdain for the cuts that we have had, and the fact that the cuts are unmanageable. So we have a Stand Up for Peterborough campaign, and residents, businesses, and everybody in the community can register their support for that by either writing to the leader of the council at the town hall, or by going on to the peterborough.gov website, and there is a section on there for people to register. which will then be going to central government later on in the year to demonstrate how unjustly we feel we're being treated.
And I just want to pick up on a word that you used there, Gavin, because I believe you're a Conservative councillor. Do you really feel disdain for your Conservative government and their programme of cuts?
I think everybody has got to the point where they realise that what they're asking us to do is unsustainable, and whether you're Conservative or not, it's unsustainable. The mantra is that we're all in it together, and frankly we're not. The cuts are being forced on local authorities, and we're the ones who are taking most of the pain for it.
OK, Gavin Elsey, thank you very much. Good to talk to you, Councillor Gavin Elsey there, Peterborough City Council Cabinet Member for Waste and Street Scene.